Good morning, Texas, and welcome to GGT News. We would like to start off our morning by celebrating National Immigrants Day. We here at GDT wanted to focus specifically on asylum immigration. Last year, judges decided that 42,224 cases, which exceeds 2017's tally by 40%, and the judges denied asylum in 65% of the cases, making the 6th year in a row that the denial rates have increased. Every day, asylum seekers enter this country but are denied access, all because the cases are rushed and not thoroughly inspected. For more information on this cause, please go to asylumseekers.org. In other big news today, the presidential debate is live. Our two candidates are Haya Kadora and Allison Nguyen. And we will now go to Haley, who is there live. Thank you, Destiny. The debate is just about to start. Right now, the two candidates are preparing backstage, and in just 5 short minutes, we will air the debate live. Stay tuned on GDT News.
Hi, my name is Teresa, and today I am going to make nam nu. It's a really common Vietnamese traditional dish, and this was handed down from my mom. So to save time, I've already gathered all the ingredients, and we've already mixed it into the pork. So this is ground pork. So once everything is mixed up, and I will leave all the ingredients down below, but once everything is mixed up, I just use a measuring spoon like this, make it into a little ball, and then spread it, and start just making like meatballs.
So I've heard you're an asylum immigrant. What is your story as an asylum immigrant coming to America?
Well, it's a pretty sad story. I am a asylum immigrant. When my parents and I escaped from the Vietnam War back in 1975, we had no other choice but to leave our country, because if we didn't leave our country, my family would have been killed. America was the only place that we knew that would take us in, because of the condition that we were in and escaping from. So my parents were really wealthy back in Vietnam. We left everything to start all over in a country that we knew nothing of. My dad being one of the top officials of the government, being that if he stayed there, we would have all been killed. So we're very fortunate to be here in the United States. We started all over, coming over and starting a new life. My father, who used to not have to do hard labor, ended up working at a cow factory. And actually, you know, like all the fillets, the ribeyes that you see sold in the grocery store, he actually worked on one of the plants where he had to cut up all the meats and made a living for our family, and did odd and ends jobs since then. So just seeing what my parents went through, we strive really hard to do the best that we can, and to seize every opportunity that we can, because we were granted this opportunity.
Thank you, Teresa, for the delicious recipe. That's ought to bring communion with friends and family, and that amazing backstory.
Welcome back, and the debate has now started. Let's take a look.
Hello, ladies, gents, I am Allison Nguyen, your hopeful future president of the United States of America. Wonder why all your jobs are stolen from you, your inhumane amount of taxes you have to pay, and why undocumented immigrants are getting away with the murder of your brothers and sisters? 2 words, 1 answer: asylum immigrants.
And now we will start the questions part of the debate. The first question is to Allison Nguyen. The Trump administration currently blames the lack of living space in the United States as the primary reasons for the rise of rejected asylum applications. What is your stance on their argument?
Well, from From my perspective, the lack of living space in America is not the prime reason why rejected asylum immigrant applications. The true reason why asylum immigrants are rejected are because these people are doing it their way, refusing to participate in our extensive legal immigration process, and people often make false asylum claims to get into the country, then disappear into the heartland with no intention of ever showing up in their hearing.
The second question is for Allison Wynn. As you both come from immigrant families, why do you think you should be elected?
I, for one, believe I should be elected as your future president because I strongly believe that using the excuse of being an asylum immigrant is absurd. The U.S. should continue to grant asylum to refugees with legitimate persecution claims. However, I will assure you as your future president that current American citizens would not be persecuted against or faced with any further hardships with the company of asylum immigrants in America.
Thank you. The third question is for Allison Wynn. If elected, what policies would you put in place to ensure satisfaction of both the Americans and immigrants living in the United States?
As your president, I will ensure you both asylum immigrants and current American citizens will be protected from prejudice, discrimination, and unnecessary taxes and affiliations with the state government. Asylum immigrants will have the chance to live in their safe haven as coming in legally, and Americans will not be faced with enhanced taxes.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, my fellow Americans. Firstly, I would like to start by addressing the fact that I could not make it to today's debate. I am currently in Texas working with the Texas legislature to reunite families at the border. Although I am not here, I would still like to answer these questions and give my stance on the topics addressed today. So thank you, and I hope you enjoy. So today I am speaking on behalf of a growing problem. There is indeed a humanitarian crisis plaguing the world, and it is our duty as the most influential and dominant country in the world to step in and stop it. Because some of you may be unfamiliar, an asylum immigrant, as defined by the United States government in Act U.S.C. 8-101, is any person who is unable or unwilling to return to their home due to a well-founded fear of persecution on account of race, religion, and nationality. Last year, we declined 65% of asylum applications, and my fear is that number will just continue to grow. We must lend a helping hand to our friends in need and offer them a second chance in life. I am here to open a new chapter in our country's history, a chapter that will reflect the principles of which we were founded upon and ensure equality in the name of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. I think this is just a mere excuse to justify the large extent of rejected claims and to keep immigrants out of the country. For example, in the late 1990s, a group gang called the MS-13 formed in Los Angeles and protected Guatemalan immigrants from abuse and prejudice they faced on a daily. The United States government proceeded to deporting these immigrants out of the country and sending them back to South America without any tangible reason or second chance in a forced labor prison. This is just one example of efforts to cleanse our country of the immigrants living in it. A lack of living space is just a cowardly way of running away from the bigger picture. Let me ask you this. If we had a lack of living space in states, would the government have issued an order paying citizens to move up north in areas where there are declining demographics? Thank you. If elected, I would start by reforming our immigration system. Upon entering the United States, immigrants have to wait long periods of time in order to get a social security card and begin work. Furthermore, I will help in reuniting families, like I am today, but specifically by employing a committee of Americans to oversee these applications and take an in-depth analysis of each and every one of them. No longer will it take 4 years to be reunited with your family, and no longer will fear take control of our lives. As for my fellow Americans, as opposed to my candidate's contrary belief, immigrants do not take jobs out of our society, nor do they deteriorate the status of it. They add something money can't buy, and that is indeed diversity and a new flow of ideas. If elected, I promise to enact new policies not only to help the diversity of our country, but also to make more jobs promoting U.S. goods and services. So I think the largest problem plaguing asylum immigrants today is our lack of humanity. By this I mean we don't sympathize them. We don't know what these people are going through, yet we never fail to discredit them and judge them on the basis that they are faking their asylum application just to get into the United States. The United States unconsciously contributes to acts against humanity, and by this I mean we lend money to countries in the Middle East like Saudi Arabia, and in turn Saudi Arabia goes and puts that money into the Yemeni war, which currently has the largest humanitarian crisis in the world. After all that is done, we don't accept any Yemeni immigrants. The United States currently has 0 Yemeni immigrants, after Trump's Muslim ban. In the name of God, we are not superior to these people, and I will make it my mission to restore the love and nationalism in this country and help us move toward a more peaceful, safe, and thriving environment. Thank you, GGT News, for having me, and I hope you all have a blessed rest of your day.
Wow, that was so exciting. Both candidates had so much to say on the immigration policies that will affect our nation. It is the choices and viewpoints like this that affect the asylum immigrants all over the world. Last year, the Trump administration changed the threshold that establishes credible fear. That could justify asylum status. According to the Catholic Legal Immigration Network, asylum seekers now have to present a preordinance of evidence rather than simply significant possibility to establish credible fear. Also, in honor of National Immigrants Day, we have a special PSA that's exclusively aired on GDT. Let's take a look.
Hi, my name is Alejandra, and I was an asylum seeker from Mexico. In my country, I had a gang that was after me and my family. They threatened to kill me if I didn't leave in the next 24 hours. I had no choice but to come to America and ask for asylum in order to not be killed. Just like me, there are around 311,000 immigrants who have requested asylum after escaping violence in their home countries. When I arrived, I was put in a hielera or icebox, notorious detention rooms predating Trump that are kept cold. When I arrived, I was wet since I had traveled in the rain and was trying to cover my child. I was soon freezing and become weak because I gave my food to my child. I eventually caught pneumonia and passed out. Many hours went by before I was taken to the hospital unconscious and extremely ill. Inadequate health care in detention centers is common, and 2 migrant children died in December in Border Patrol custody. The way that these asylum seekers are putting everything on the line and are getting treated both physically and verbally is unfair. One Border Patrol agent even told an asylum immigrant, quote, "I don't care if one of your kids die." Afterwards, the government took my child and the Texas Civil Rights Project found that at least 272 adults were separated from a child family member in the 6 months after Trump supposedly ended family separation, just like me. My child was 5 years old, but there are other families who have had even younger children taken away from them. The youngest to be separated was an 8-month-old girl taken from her mother. On Monday evening, President Donald Trump issued a memo intended to make life more difficult for those seeking asylum in the United States. The memo calls for regulations that, among other things, require asylum seekers to pay a fee in order to apply for asylum. This makes it even harder for asylum seekers to escape violence like me. Asylum seekers are coming to this country with little money that they have, and it is extremely difficult, if not impossible, for an asylum seeker to pay Trump's new fee, even if it is less than $100. Let's not forget that American currency is worth more than Mexico's currency, which makes it even more difficult to pay for this fee. Apart from the fact that this fee is unreasonable, it is unfair. Asylum seekers should not have to worry about being able to afford asylum, as it is a human right to be able to ask for asylum to be free from violence. Asylum immigrants make several sacrifices in order to be accepted into this country. Not only is accepting asylum seekers right, but it also helps our country. Banning asylum seekers from work will deprive the U.S. government of the taxes that asylum seekers, just like other immigrants, pay on the wages they receive. Asylum seekers receive empty jobs and are generating tax revenue for the government, usually far more per year than whatever nominal fee Trump wants to pay for their asylum application. This country needs to let asylum immigrants enter the country. Please vote for Haya Kadori to be your next president so we can be more accepting of asylum immigrants that will positively impact our country and our lives.
That was so emotional and heartfelt. There are many stories just like this one that need to be heard and shared with the world. Asylum seekers from all over the world can spend months to years languishing in the U.S. immigration prisons while pursuing their cases and even after receiving final orders of removal. This year, the UN has urged the United States to halt the punitive, unreasonably long, and costly practice of immigration detention. And on that note, I would like to bring in a special guest who is available to help with cases just like these. Please help me give a warm welcome to Carolyn Camacho, the #1 immigration lawyer in the state of Texas.
Thank you for having me on the show. I'm so honored to be here.
Yes, no problem. So we all know that you're an amazing immigration lawyer, but we would like to know exactly what you do.
I specialize in helping families escape violence in their home countries.
There are people all over the world who cannot stay in their home countries due to the fact that they will be killed at any moment and have no choice but to seek for asylum here in America. Families are held in detention centers for months, if not more, in terrible conditions, waiting to be granted asylum or to be sent back to their death. If you contact me, I will make it my priority to help speed up your family's process and get their asylum accepted in as little as 1 month.
Wow, that was so informational. You can find out more about her and her business on her website at CamachoLawForm.org. Thank you for joining us on the show.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Hello and welcome back to Fact of the Day with GDT News. Today's fact is brought to you by the Hayakatura campaign. So, the first and largest portion of asylum immigrants come from China, and that is 22%. Then is El Salvador at 11%, Guatemala at 10%, Honduras at 7%, Mexico at 5%, Egypt at 4%, Syria at 4%, Iraq at 3%, Nepal at 2%, Ethiopia at 2%, and all other countries make up 30%. By all other countries, they're countries that weigh in at less than 1%. Thank you!
Welcome back, viewers. And lastly, to end the show, I wanted to give a top 10 list on the reasons that people most migrate to the United States. 1. To escape past or future persecution based on race, religion, nationality, membership in a particular social group or political opinion. 2. To escape conflict or violence. 3. To find refuge after being displaced due to environmental factors. 4. To seek superior health care. 5. To escape poverty. 6. To offer more opportunities to children. 7. Family reunification. 8. For educational purposes. 9. For jobs and business opportunities. And lastly, number 10, marriage. Well, it has been an amazing show, folks, and we will do it again tomorrow. Have a wonderful day, Texas, and we will see you again tomorrow on Good Day, Texas.